everyone. My name is Isabella Earnhardt, if you don't already know, and I was 6 when I first started reading. Now, to contextualize my whole reading experience, there are some things you should know. I have apraxia, which is a speech disorder, and the way it worked for me is I really struggled to pronounce certain words like the TH sound. I really struggled with that. So my family caught that on to that early, and I was in speech therapy starting at the age of 4. As a result, my mom was very worried about how I would do learning to read. And there isn't much I remember from that time. But I was told that I catch on to reading surprisingly quickly. However, what I do remember is while in my brain I could read, I would have weird pronunciation for words. For example, Chipotle. I know I'm pronouncing the restaurant's name wrong, but it's spelt with the L in the middle or at the end, so I feel like I should pronunciate the L. Apparently, you don't say it like Chipotle, but in my brain, that's how I pronounce it. It was the same with words when I would read. I would have my own way to pronounce them in my brain, and it would be very hard for me to correct that way of thinking. So I remember in kindergarten having to read out loud and wanting to cry because people were making fun of me and I just couldn't pronounce the words. And I remember thinking, I can't cry right now. I need to wait till I go to my own room to cry. And that really did ignite a fear of reading in my brain because if I read out loud, I'm going to be made fun of. And it made me think that I was bad at reading. However, that all changed when I had a 3rd grade teacher. And she said to me, Isabella, you understand things when you read. You just pronounce them differently, but you know what you're saying. And that really taught me that I'm not bad at reading. It's just I read a little differently. And that from that point forward, it really changed my love for reading. As you can see, I love reading now. And something else that also helped my love for reading was that teacher told me I could pick out any book in the bookshelf. And I wish I brought my original copy with me here. It is very beaten up, but I picked out a little book called Anne of Green Gables. And I don't know if I should have been reading it. It was a little bit above my age level, but I read it and I loved it. I fell into this world of this beautiful girl, and I realized I could learn lessons from this book. I could use it as an escape, and it really did ignite a love of reading in me. And then I got into A Little Princess and Little Woman and as a kid. And it really did just teach me how much I love these types of stories. And then I discovered I could combine history, a la the diaries that they would have, and learning, and I could read and learn not only moral lessons, but also what I'm learning at school. Game changer. So and now I really love reading, and it is thanks to that teacher and Anne of Green Gables. Another thing that really ignited my love of reading when it kind of dwindled was going into other genres. And I had a teacher that encouraged me. I know you only tend to read coming of age girl stories, but I really think you should check out Sherlock Holmes. So I checked out Sherlock Holmes, and I loved those books. She gave me, I forget which short story it was, but I loved it, and that really taught me to expand into other genres. And at that point, I kind of hit a lull in reading. I wasn't really inspired to read. In class, when she had quiet time for us to read, I would always ask if there's something else I could do. But learning to go into those other genres and find the books that I love ignited again my love for reading, and it just has continued ever since then. So that is a little glimpse of my experience with reading.